be with you here for this first tech chat in English about cybersecurity, and I'm very pleased to welcome today with us Saghar Estehghari. Hello, Saghar.
Hello, Delphine.
Saghar is co-founder of Cybersecura, and she's expert in cybersecurity as well, and she will be with us today to answer your questions.
Hello, everyone.
Maybe you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Saghar Estehghari. I am a co-founder of Cybersecura and expert on cybersecurity. I've been in the field for 10 years.
We have a first question. What are the main risks in terms of security on a DPA platform? So we are here for that.
Exactly.
That's a good topic.
DPA platform, we can say that we actually, it's not like a BPM. We actually not only process the client's data, our data, but also our client's data and the partner data. So we have a huge responsibility about the data that we are processing and collecting from both sides, and actually how we protect them. So for me, there are three principal risks. We can have operational risks. So if we have kind of imagine that we have a ransomware attack with a virus, and all this data is encrypted, then we're going to have like an unavailability problem, which can be an operational problem. So we cannot actually respond to our clients in the right timing. And we have actually problem with accessing our data, so internal problems, a lot of internal problems with ransomware. Second type of attack, we can talk about reputational problem. So reputation means like if you have an attack, then it can impact directly your business. So then it can actually impact your image and your communication, your relationship with your clients. The clients don't trust you anymore. So little by little, you start losing your clients. And then, so what does it mean? It means that you don't have anymore your reputation. Third attack is a financial attack. For example, if you start collecting personal data and you don't protect them correctly, if you're, for example, in Europe or you're working with European clients, then you might have a violation of GDPR law. So again, you can have some kind of fine, etc., from privacy organism, data privacy organisms. So yeah, the three of them: operational, financial, and reputational.
Okay, thank you for this first question. I hope it was clear for you. For example, Bonita today is working on being certified to ISO 271.
Yes.
So this is my question. Is it related? What is good? What is the value of this norm?
This norm actually certifies that the company that has this certification has information security management system. So it means that your security has been systematic. So everything, like it's in place. There is kind of monitoring, there is documentation, there is continuous improvement. So when you look at, when you are actually dealing with a company that has a certification, you can be completely how we say it, completely trust this company on the fact that actually they take cybersecurity very seriously.
Okay.
So actually, it's also important to see like what is the scope that we are applying. For example, for Bonita today, we are talking about this certification on Bonita Cloud.
Okay.
So we can say that on Bonita Cloud, we can have cybersecurity that is systematic. So if there is a vulnerability, for example, this will be mitigated automatically because we are in an actually management system.
Okay.
So it implies that a company with certification is very serious about cybersecurity.
Like a company with ISO 9000 for quality.
Exactly.
Okay. We have another question here. Okay, when in the project, when is it important to put in place security tools?
Okay, so I will say that from the beginning, So at the conception level. So we actually believe in cybersecurity by design. So at the design time, the moment, so when you're actually creating a project, you need to start thinking about cybersecurity. What are your surface attacks? What are the threats that actually threats for your application? So with that threat modeling and attack surface analysis, you can actually tell what kind of countermeasures you put in place. So it means that during the application, you can have actually security requirements to be implemented in your application from the beginning. For example, I will give an example. If you have a password that needs to be, I can say like obfuscated in your database. So if you know from the beginning, like you actually predict that it needs to be obfuscated and what algorithm I have to use, and actually you consult with a security expert, you know exactly what algorithm to use. But if you don't take this into mind and you just go for an obsolete algorithm, then you will go to the production with a vulnerability, and then for mitigating, you need to go back and change many things. For example, if you have a database in production with a password that are encrypted with obsolete algorithm, then going back means that you need to change all the data in that database. But if at the design time you have actually predicted that, then you would have implemented correctly with the best practices and tested it to see whether it works and it's correct, and no more cost for going back.
Okay, so that's an example. So that's an example of methodology.
Exactly. So it's a methodology. We call it cybersecurity development lifecycle. So it's STL. Actually, it's coming from Microsoft. It's a methodology written by and developed by Microsoft. And today, many others are taking it into account, like OWASP, which one of the known, we can say, standards for web application development in a secure way.
Okay.
So, and this methodology tells you that how you add cybersecurity activities on each phase of your SDLC, software development lifecycle. And with respecting that, you can start having security by design in your company and for creating your projects. It has different activities. You start from training, so you make developers are trained. Design phase with a cybersecurity expert to make sure that you don't lose any kind of a threat, or you have all the attack surface being analyzed, which at the end you have the countermeasures and all the requirements to put in place. Then you have implementation phase, where the developers start building using approved tools, plus the countermeasures that you gave to them, plus the best practices. Okay, and then you start going to the testing part, which is kind of a code review and also sometimes pen testing. And then you have go or no go from your cybersecurity expert based on what you did and what the test says. And then you go to release and you go to detection. So when you go to production, you start using tools to actually monitor your application and how it's functioning and whether there are attacks coming. If there is a detection, then you do like a response to see like, okay, what's going on? What is the vulnerability? What is going on? What is my security hole? Then we can release a patch and change everything in your production. So it's actually a complete life cycle, and you just from the detect part you can actually go to the design and change stuff, but it's very systematic, and it's something that we actually try to implement in Bonita Soft. So we have started implementing tools to make sure that, for example, for implementation part, everything is used as best practices, the tools to monitor and test automatically the code. Plus, we do manual code review and manual testing, penetration testing.
Okay. Do you have examples of tools?
Yes, I have example of tools. For example, at Bonita Soft, what we use Sneak, for example, for dependency checks, like to see like whether the application dependencies are up to date or they are obsolete. So then you can do a quick remediation on updating them. For example, we use LGTM for code review, like automatic code review. So actually it does continuous monitoring on the code. So we can be alerted when there is a code that is not good, so we can actually remediate it easily. So yeah, there are these tools we are using. Plus, on our side, from Cybersecura team, we actually use Burp Suite, for example, to test the application for pen test point of view. We use what else? We use Nmap. We use many other tools to make sure that we test the application correctly.
Last question. Do we have other recommendation not related especially to the product and the tools? I guess maybe other things, methodology, documentation, things like that.
For Microsoft?
I guess it's maybe for the project managers, the one who are implementing projects, I guess. Well, and that's how I understand the question.
Okay, so for project management point of view, yeah, I think that, yeah, okay, let me, for project management, I'm sorry, it's very important that they understand SDL. So if they know SDL, because a project manager, or we can say a product owner, has a very important role. They actually communicate with the direction, like the management and everything, and also it communicates with a developer. So normally in SDL, you need to have the approval of your management, and plus you need to be able to communicate with the developers what you need to be implemented. So for me, a product manager can understand better the SDL, can understand also using like kind of a ticketing system, we can say, who can actually seize have the dashboard of these tools that we implement. For example, LGTM or SNCC. So who is the one actually, we can say that the issues for the developers, and the product owner is aware of the security, and he has the role of making sure that security issues are remediated in the application. So for me, if we want to talk about tools for the project management, it actually, for me, is mainly the training, which is very important for them to understand what is the risks, why cybersecurity is important, why you need to be implemented, why we need to actually respond to the vulnerabilities found by the tools. Because I understand that for most of the product owners, product managers, what is important is time to market. So you want to release as soon as possible to get there, to meet the market needs, and actually beat the competitors. So cybersecurity comes after, but they need to learn through the trainings and understanding SDL that cybersecurity is very important also to beat the competitors, because if you just release an application that is vulnerable, it can completely impact your reputation and on your client. That's, we go back to the reputational risk that we talked about, reputational risk. So if they understand this, they can actually implement in their daily routine the SDL, they prioritize, and they have to start analyzing on themselves, trying to understand how to use these tools and how to make cybersecurity priority for the developers.
Okay, so if I understand, the one that is accountable, and that's my question related to the other one, the role of the product owner or the project manager is to be accountable for security?
Yes.
You don't have someone, for example, managing security in teams?
You can have a cybersecurity expert, but I think that if you have only one, which is we call them CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, that person cannot be involved all the time. That person is there to give you the advice, the best practices, the best tools and approved tools, and you need to just involve that person to, for example, for design part and surface attack. But for me, the project manager or the product owner is the one who continue the work. But the CISO stays very kind of transversal to all projects and needs to be communicated just for like deeper analysis or some like security knowledge that maybe the owner doesn't understand, or like to understand the criticality of the problem that has been found. So for me, is product owners and project managers are the ones that who needs to understand the importance of cybersecurity and prioritize them for their developers and for their team. Because what is important is like they have time to market, and that most of the time, like that overrides cybersecurity. So they need to understand that time to market and cybersecurity needs to meet each other to have an application that works well and it's secure.
Okay, good to know. Thank
Yes.
you very much. Okay, we are done. I think there is no more questions, and the time is over. So I want to thank this first tech chat in English. Was really interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I enjoyed. Our next tech chat, we still do not have the date, but we should have a tech chat about Kubernetes and deployment on using Docker as well. We plan as well to talk about our new version on specific technical subjects. So stay tuned, because there will be other tech chats. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great vacation.
Thank you. Bye bye everybody, and have a good summer.